It's really from 2012 on where I guess sort of the myth or the cult of Elon Musk starts to dig in and take hold.
Hi, I'm Alex Wood and this is Frontrunner. Today we're talking about Tesla, the electric car maker that went from nothing to the world's largest car maker in just over 15 years. Its founder Elon Musk is never far from the headlines, pulling questionable stunts and coming out with some pretty outlandish statements. But whether you love him or you loathe him, the figures, well, they speak for themselves. Elon Musk added a jaw-dropping $20 billion to his personal net worth since March this year. And when Forbes asked Elon Musk about winning big in lockdown, his response was this: "I couldn't care less. These numbers rise and fall, but what really matters is making great products that people love." So what is really going on with Tesla? We checked in with Forbes' Alan Osman to find out more.
It's really from 2012 on where I guess sort of the myth or the cult of Elon Musk starts to dig in and take hold. And it was that huge initial success of a vehicle that sold in relatively small numbers. It was never a big volume car, but it was an aspirational vehicle and really showed you, here's what an electric vehicle can be.
From my perspective here in Europe, BMW, for example, they just really have not kept up with Tesla.
The real issue for a lot of the established OEMs from BMW and Daimler and Toyota and General Motors, they've never been fully sold on the idea that electrification is ready for prime time. Arguably, that view is not wrong. The raw cost of the materials, manufacturing, and the cost of the battery pack remains very, very high, even for Tesla. Tesla probably has better costs on battery than anyone else at this point, but they're still much higher than a comparable internal combustion engine vehicle. And I think that the established automakers always saw a risk factor to go too hard into vehicles with too slim a profit margin. It seems that Elon took a very different approach where he didn't care about the lack of margin. He decided it's kind of like the loss leader concept. You're willing to sell something with thin to no genuine margins to attract attention and future sales. And that's really sort of worked out. And then over time, the margins have gotten better. The company also got considerable assistance and still gets a lot of assistance through direct and indirect subsidies.
Just bringing it back up to today, I mean, we have been living through some really difficult times across the world. And yet, while all of this is going on, Tesla's stock price is just kind of doing this. Talk me through what's been behind that.
If you flash back a year ago, it was really very low. I mean, the stock had dropped down to $200 or $300 a share, and there were a lot of concerns about the need for cash and the cost of a lot of the things that the company was doing, that it was not going to, it might run out of cash. It caught a lot of lucky breaks. It got some very favorable financing for its new plant in China, where essentially it got cheap loans to build the Shanghai plant. They were incredibly helpful. But it did have sort of a series of beneficial things that happened. Opening that plant in China on time, in record time, was pretty astonishing. That facility, when it's fully up and running, will be doing about 500,000 units that Tesla can sell into the Chinese market without high tariffs and import duties. And so that will be a source of significant revenue.
Just like Elon Musk said at the beginning of this video, numbers only mean so much. Companies can have highs and they can have lows. Just look at General Motors, for example. But Tesla's stock price and the way the markets are so excited about this company tells a much bigger story. Before the coronavirus, the idea of buying an electric car was pretty niche. Frankly, it was a pretty expensive status symbol for showing your bit for the environment. But this crisis that we've all experienced has given us a moment to pause. And now, more than ever, we're all thinking about the environment and the impact that we have on our planet. And for many of us, myself included, that means one thing. My next car will be an electric one. And yes, it probably will be a Tesla. And one more thing, now Elon Musk is a big fan of the attention, loves to be in the press all the time, but sometimes things don't go to plan.
Sure? Yeah. Oh my fucking God. Well, maybe that was a little too hard.
Thanks for watching, and remember, stay safe and see you next time.